Alright, settle down folks. So there's this new K-drama that's got everyone talking. It's called Hyperknife. Sounds pretty intense, doesn't it? Like something you wouldn't want near your, well, anything. And trust me, it lives up to the name. This isn't your usual fluffy romance, no sir. We're diving deep into the dark side. Think Brilliant Doctors, but with a serious twist. It's a medical crime thriller, they say, but it's more like a psychological deep-sea dive. You know, the kind where you're not sure what creatures you'll find lurking below. Hyperknife basically throws us into a world where genius and madness are practically roommates. The show revolves around a super talented surgeon. We're talking once-in-a-generation kind of talent, but this genius comes with a whole lot of baggage. Dark secrets, questionable ethics, the whole shebang. It's like watching a tightrope walker, but they're juggling scalpels. And the rope is over a shark tank, you get the picture? It's all very stressful, but you just can't look away. It's that kind of a sticky situation for us viewers. It's a wild ride, this one. Now let's talk about the heart of this dark beast, the relationship between Dr. Jung Se-ok and Dr. Choi Deok-hee. Oh boy, where do I even begin with these two? It's not your typical mentor-student thing, not even close. Imagine if your driving instructor was also secretly training you for a demolition derby. That's kind of the vibe here. Dr. Jung, played by the amazing Park Eun-bin, is this prodigy surgeon. She's got skills that could make other doctors weep. But she's also got a past that's, shall we say, complicated. Then you have Dr. Choi Deok-hee, brought to life by the veteran Sol Kyung-gu. He's the seasoned master, the one who sees something in Dr. Jung. Maybe he sees himself, maybe he sees a tool, maybe he's just lonely. Who knows? Their dynamic is like a dance, a really intense, slightly dangerous tango. They push each other, they challenge each other, and they probably give each other ulcers. It's a fascinating mess. They are bound by this shared pursuit of surgical perfection. But their definitions of perfection? Well, that's where things get really murky. These two, they go to extraordinary lengths. We're talking ethically dubious, morally gray, and sometimes downright illegal lengths. All for the sake of pushing boundaries in medicine, or so they claim. Is it really about advancing science, or is it about their own egos, their own legacies? The show makes you ask these questions. It's a proper nail-biter, this particular aspect of the show. One thing Hyperknife really drills down on, pun intended, is this idea of surgical obsession. It's not just a job for these characters, it's not even just a passion, it's an addiction, a full-blown, all-consuming addiction. Dr. Jung Se-ok, especially, seems to live for the thrill of the cut, the adrenaline rush of holding a life in her hands. It's portrayed almost like a substance dependency. She needs it, she craves it, and when she can't have it, things get ugly. The show does a chillingly good job of showing how this obsession can warp a person, how it can make them blind to everything else. Friends, family, ethics, they all take a backseat to the siren call of the operating room. It's a dangerous path, this pursuit of perfection. It starts with wanting to be the best, to save lives. But it slowly morphs into something darker, something about control, about power, about playing God. And the show isn't afraid to show you that transformation, warts and all. You see these doctors, they're chasing a high. The high of a successful, groundbreaking surgery, and like any addict, they're always chasing a bigger, better high. This leads them to take insane risks, to push ethical boundaries until they're just a blurry line in the distance. Let's zoom in on Dr. Jung Se-ok, our brilliant but troubled surgeon. Park Eun-bin plays her, and boy does she deliver. But the character herself, while fascinating, sometimes feels a bit like a half-finished painting. We see her genius, no doubt about that. She can pull off surgical miracles like it's just another Tuesday. She's got that intense focus, that almost supernatural intuition in the OR. You believe she's the best. There's absolutely no question about her capabilities when she's wielding that hyperknife. But then, there are her motivations. Why is she so driven, so reckless? The show gives us hints, glimpses into a traumatic past, a desire to overcome some old ghosts perhaps, but it often feels a bit vague, a bit underdeveloped. It's like they give you a few puzzle pieces, but not enough to see the full picture. Her genius is clear, but the roots of her darkness, they remain a little too hidden in the shadows for my liking. We needed to feel that storm a bit more to really get under her skin. Now let's turn our attention to the other half of this dynamic duo, Dr. Choi Deok-hee. Played by the ever-reliable Sol Kyung-gu, he's the enigmatic mentor figure. The puppet master, perhaps? Or just a tired old genius looking for a successor? That's the big question with him. He's a man obsessed with legacy. He wants to leave his mark on the world of medicine. And he sees Dr. Jung Se-ok as the key to that. His protege, his masterpiece, his way to achieve a kind of surgical immortality. It's all very grand, very dramatic. But his motivations, much like Dr. Jung's, can sometimes feel a bit like they're written in disappearing ink. We understand his desire for a legacy. Many people want that. But the lengths he goes to, the manipulations, the way he pushes Dr. Jung towards the edge, it's not always clear why he's that extreme. Is it purely professional ambition, or is there something more personal, more twisted, driving him? The show hints at a complex past, perhaps some regrets or failures that fuel his current intensity, but again, it's often more hinted at than explored. He's a fascinating character, this Dr. Choi. He's not a straightforward villain, not by a long shot. There are moments when you see a flicker of genuine care for Dr. Jung, or at least, a profound respect for her talent. But then, he'll do something that makes you question everything. He's a master of the long game, always thinking several steps ahead. But what is the ultimate goal of his game? Sometimes, it feels like even he isn't entirely sure. It's a bit of a puzzle, this plot holes and pacing pains, where the knife gets a bit blunt. Alright, no show is perfect, right? Not even one with a cool name like Hyperknife. And this one, despite all its brilliance and intensity, does stumble a bit. One of the main culprits? Pacing. Oh, the pacing. Sometimes the show moves at the speed of a surgical laser, fast, precise, and exciting. But other times it slows down to a crawl, like waiting for test results when you're really nervous. You just want it to get on with it. These slower patches can really test your patience, especially in a thriller. Then, there are the narrative weaknesses. We've touched on the underdeveloped motivations for our main characters, that's a big one. When you don't fully understand why these brilliant people are doing such crazy things, it can pull you out of the story. It's like watching a magician, but you can see the strings. Takes away some of the magic, doesn't it? A little more depth, a bit more backstory explained properly, could have tightened these loose threads considerably. It's a pity, because the core idea is so strong. Script wobbles, let me tell you, the acting in Hyperknife is absolutely top-notch. First up, Park Eun-bin as Dr. Jung Se-ok. Wow, just wow. We've seen her in so many different roles, right? From historical dramas to legal dramas, and she always brings her A-game. Here she transforms into this intense, almost haunted surgical genius. Her eyes, man, her eyes convey so much. The ambition, the pain, the sheer focus when she's in that OR. She makes you believe in Dr. Jung's brilliance, even when the script leaves you guessing about her motives. She carries the weight of a very complex character on her shoulders, and she does it with such grace and intensity. You can see the internal conflict raging within Dr. Jung just by looking at Park Eun-bin's expressions. She's not afraid to be unlikable at times, which is crucial for a character like this. She doesn't ask for your sympathy, but she commands your attention. It's a powerhouse performance, truly. She makes every scene she's in crackle with energy. It's like watching a master craftsperson at work, every movement precise and meaningful. And then there's Sol Kyung-gu as Dr. Choi Deok-hee, a legend. What else can you say? He brings such gravitas to the role. He's got that quiet intensity that can be far more terrifying than any loud outburst. As Dr. Choi, he's enigmatic, manipulative, but also strangely compelling. You're never quite sure what he's thinking, and Sol Kyung-gu plays that ambiguity perfectly.
We've all seen variations of the student becoming the anti-hero, sometimes even killing the hero mentor. Think about Naruto, Pain, and Jiraiya, that tragic confrontation, or the devastating betrayal between Guts and Griffith in Berserk. These are powerful, classic setups, but Hyperknife takes that classic setup and flips it on its head in the most unsettling way. At first, you're anticipating that familiar fallout. You see the tension bubbling between Jung Se-ok and Dr. Choi Deok-hee. There are some arguments, disruptions, moments of her rebellion. You think, okay, here comes the point where she breaks from him, or he betrays her in a straightforward way. But the real twist, the insidious genius of Deok-hee's character, is that he's orchestrating her entire descent, her entire evolution, the whole damn time. It's revealed that from very early on, he deliberately allows his own devastating illness to worsen. And you're screaming at the screen, why? Why would he do this to himself? The answer is chilling, because he wants her, Jung Se-ok, his prodigy, to be the one to operate on him. As I noted in my written review, he wanted to teach her the last lesson. And this lesson isn't just about surgical skill. Oh no. It's about forcing upon her an extreme understanding of conviction, And this lesson isn't about her inheriting his surgical mantle. It's about him wanting her to finally feel failure, to make her unstable in her surgical godhood. He wants to make her feel the searing pain of loss, the pain of imperfection, directly through her craft. He wants to force her to understand how the real world works, messy, unpredictable, and full of heartbreak. He wants to break her perfect composure, his possessiveness, his determination to see his plan through. He will go to any length for her, not out of love in any conventional sense, but to ensure she receives this final, brutal tutelage. This whole last lesson setup is superb in its construction, deeply twisted, and it keeps you guessing about his ultimate endgame. It's manipulative, it's cruel, but there's a dark profundity to it that's undeniable. The show doesn't spoon-feed you answers, it forces you to confront the ambiguity. And the biggest, most haunting question it leaves us with, the one that will stick with you long after the credits roll, is the one I wrestled with. Did she learn the lesson, or did he teach her the last class? And honestly, the show offers no easy answer. That ambiguity is precisely what makes the ending so powerful, so haunting. It's not a clear-cut, happy ending, nor is it purely tragic in a conventional sense. It just leaves you staring at the screen, mind racing, pondering the terrifyingly thin line between obsessive genius and outright madness. What a ride.
8. The final verdict: is Hyperknife worth your precious binge time? So, after all that, the big question remains: should you watch Hyperknife? Is it worth dedicating your precious hours to this dark, twisted tale? My answer? Yes, but with a few caveats. If you're looking for a light, feel-good K-drama, then maybe give this one a miss. This is not the show to watch while eating a cheerful bowl of ice cream. Unless it's like dark chocolate with chili flakes. Something that matches the mood, you know? It's intense, it's unsettling, and it will make you think. The show is ambitious, tackling some really heavy themes. Genius, obsession, the ethics of medicine, the pursuit of legacy. It doesn't always hit the mark perfectly. The pacing can be uneven, as we discussed. And some character motivations could have been fleshed out more. The original soundtrack, or OST, while fittingly moody, isn't particularly memorable either. It does its job setting the atmosphere, but you probably won't be adding it to your playlists. These are definite flaws, no denying that. They do hold it back from true masterpiece status. However, the performances from Park Eun-bin and Sol Kyung-gu are simply phenomenal. They are worth the price of admission alone. They bring such depth and intensity to their roles that you can't help but be drawn into their dark world. The central dynamic between their characters is fascinatingly toxic and utterly compelling. And when the show gets it right, those moments of surgical tension and psychological drama are incredibly powerful. It's a show that will stick with you, make you ponder some uncomfortable questions.